It was 11 days from Chorev Sinai, Derech HaSeir, that if you go through the Edom territory, which is HaSeir, at Kodesh Barnea, to go to Kodesh Barnea takes 11 days. What is Moshe telling them? Rashi, Omle Moshe, U'ma Garamtem. You should understand what you caused. Ein lochem derech tzar v'chorev l'kodesh barnea k'derech harseir. The shortest route from Sinai to Kodesh Barnea is to go through Harseir. Vafu mahalech yud alef yom, and it's an 11-day journey going from Sinai to Kodesh Barnea. Vatem halachtem osa b'shloshi yomim, and that trek, which is normally an 11-day trek, the shortest route is 11 days. You did it in 3 days. How do we know this? On the 20th of Iyar, this is of the second year, they traveled from Chorev. Shenemar, Vi b'shon hashenis, b'chodesh hasheni. It was the second year. Chodesh hasheni is Iyar. V'esum hachodesh. Ub'chovtes b'Sivon, on the 29th of Sivan, Sholchos hameraglim. B'kodesh Barnea. Tzeimim shloshim yom she'osa b'kivus hatavo. 30 days they were in Kivus HaTavra where they desired meat. Shochel abosa chodesh yomim. V'shiva yomim she'osu b'chatzeros. And 7 days they were in Chatzeros. Lisogish Miriam, because Miriam became a leper. Nimtza b'shloshi yom holchu kosa derech. So the 11-day trek, the shortest route, instead of taking 11, took 3. V'kol kach hoisa shchin mislabetes b'shulchem. The Shekhinah had such great desire on your behalf, Lamar biaschem loretz, to expedite your entry into the land. Ubishvil shekil kaltem, heisav eschem, svivos harsei arboim shono. That's interesting. You know, sometimes a person, you want to rush a deal, the buyer right away suspects what's the rush. You know, you're so eager to get it over with. Here HaKadosh Baruch Hu is rushing us. Maybe if we would have gone the 11-day trek, rather than do 11 days and 3 days, we have time to think it over. Not only, but why is he rushing it? Maybe there's what to suspect. I'm just the way a human being thinks. Otherwise, I mean, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can't wait to destroy you. I mean, the whole issue was, HaKadosh wants to destroy us. Now, after he sent the spies, 10 of them says, we've confirmed our suspicion. It's Eretz Ocheles Yoshvel. But I'm saying if they would have gone normally, maybe they wouldn't have. No, you go on normal pace. But now that Hashem's rushing it, rather than understanding it because He wants to bring you as quickly as possible into Eretz Yisrael, they understood it. No, maybe there's what to be concerned about. No. Can I ask you a question? He split the sea for us. He did it so many chasodim. So if he wants to kill us later, you mean all the chesed originally was misplaced? Same idea, it's the same thing. Right? The whole thing doesn't make sense. Right? The whole thing really doesn't make sense. After all the Hashem has displayed with all the Nisim Gluyim, the Ten Makos and this and that, now you think he's taking you to kill you. You don't think it's going to play out as Eretz Ovos Chol Dvosh? But they have the suspicion. But I'm just saying, this added to it. Why the rush? Right? Why are you rushing it? You have to get through the sea. He has to split the sea. You have no choice. But why the rush here? The answer is what to suspect. Of course it was Nasarian. There's no question. That's what I'm saying. See, I come in the morning. I find my coffee. I don't suspect Howard that he put anything in my coffee. It's there every morning. Okay? Howard, I always have to bring you into the equation. Okay. Well, Rashi's only said Chazal. Rashi said Chazal. What's difficult? Why is this more difficult than anything? Later, this is foreigner says, why did they trust Hashem? Why? I mean, if he did it so much for them, do you think he wants to destroy them? Because in Mitzrayim, they're over the Avodah Zorah. And because we're over the Avodah Zorah, God is unforgiving. And because he's unforgiving, therefore, This is a ploy to take us to destroy us. Okay? That's the Sefarna later. Because it says, B'sinas Hashem osanu. Later there's a pasuk in Devarim, it says, because God hates us. Why should he hate you? Because when you're idolaters in Egypt, so Hashem doesn't forget. Therefore, all this is only to avenge that original idolatry in Egypt. No, but it's interesting. We leave Sinai at a certain date. Right away we want meat. And then we get clobbered. Kivrus Hatava, whoever ate the meat died. So Hashem's already showing the meat is hadin. You can't play games. And then Miriam becomes the leper. We wait. So again, it's Rishab Halod Rov Lolokul Musa. The Meraglim they saw, they didn't take Musa from Miriam. So first they clobbered with the Kivrus Hatava. Then they have the lesson of Miriam, and still they don't learn. They still don't learn. No. So I'm saying, so could be is like this. Everything's a test. You have Kivrus Hatava, you have Miriam. So you know something? You should learn your lesson well. You know, you play by the rules, things go well. You don't, you see what happens. So could be if they wouldn't have been rushed, that 11-day period to go 3 days, they would. What they saw was enough to learn the lesson well. But now, we see something now which causes us to suspect. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? Alec, you with me? Okay. If we would have gone the normal 11-day trek, we see clearly. We get it. But we thought we got it, all of a sudden now he's rushing us. Why is he rushing us? Evidently, he can't wait to destroy us. Right? Otherwise, why rush it? So the rushing causes the lesson that they had learned from Kivrus Hatava and from the story of Miriam, it becomes a little blurred. The lesson becomes a blurred lesson. Therefore, as a result of that, now you have a bona fide test. Now it's a real test. Do you send Meraglim? Don't you send Meraglim? The minutes on that clock are right. It's just the hour. Just the hour, okay? You know, it's interesting, Mrs. Shem writes that the Yetzer Hara, what's his modus operandi, the Yetzer Hara? Not speed. He pushes you. He doesn't give you time to think. He says, just as Paro, when we complained about Gula, we want to leave. So what does Paro say? He withdraws the straw subsidy, and he says, they're lazy. They have too much time to think. When a person has too much time to think, that's when it becomes a problem. So what are we going to do? We're going to fully occupy them with the quotas. They're not going to have time to think. That's what Paro says. They'll stop complaining because the priority is going to be to survive. But if they have leisure time, that's when we have the problem. There's not going to be any leisure time. So Mrs. Shem writes, that's the Yetzer Hara. If a person would be able to evaluate everything he does before he does it, he would never sin. But the Yetzer Hara always has you, you're on to the next thing. He always has you on to the next thing. As a result of that, because you have no time to think, that's exactly why people sin. That's his ploy. Understand? Here, sometimes you see what happens to Miriam. You have to reflect on it. Reflect on it. Right? You reflect. And if you reflect on it, maybe you say, you know something, we're going to behave differently when we go into Eretz Yisrael. Regardless of what we see, we're not going to evaluate it too quickly. What happens if you're rushed? You don't have that much time to reflect. Understand? As a result of that, you know, it's interesting. If you learn something and immediately you reflect on it, it has greater value. What about initially, after you learn, you don't reflect on it for whatever reason? You're distracted. And now you reflect on it days later. It's not the same thing. Because it's not as vivid and fresh in your mind as you just learned it. So here we see Miriam, the moment Miriam is released from her confinement, 11-day trek in 3 days. So what does that mean? We don't have enough time to reflect on it. We're being hurried into the land. As a result of that, I'm saying two things. Reflecting, Risham Alolu, Rov Alolokul Musar. How could they not take Musar? So I'm just saying, it's also, because it has this element, there wasn't enough time to reflect. We're on to the next thing, so to say. No, Chas v'Shalom. That's the Nisoyon. Otherwise, it's not a test. Everything, if life is clear, there's no test, what's the point in existence? It's always because he's always testing you. You have to show your dedication. Despite the difficulty, you come through. It's a tova, but again, everything has a certain side to it. I want to do good, but that itself has a certain element which allows it, which causes a problem. But that's it. Everything is not perfect, but that's life. Life is tests. If things will be perfect, you wouldn't be tested. Everything will go smoothly. Everything in life is, regardless, greater challenges, lesser challenges. A person wins the lottery, very big lottery. Wait a second, it's a very big test. Person says Shechianu, but now he has new challenges in life, right? You have to close down the office. You don't have to worry about the insurance company anymore. You don't have to worry about all these things. These are tests, right? You call up the lawyer. I'm not paying your fee any longer. We don't need you any longer. Okay, all these things. But everything. But here it's great. Yeah. Everybody's coming from the same place. Okay. You guys were neighbors, no? Okay, let's see the morale. It is a chesed. It's always, everything has a test element to it. Everything in life has a certain aspect of test. Good, bad, indifferent. Everything is a challenge. Different degrees of challenges. But even good has a challenge to it. Everything has a challenge. Bad has challenge. Good has challenge. Everything has. What do you mean? I'm not sure. Is that true? That good and God is just an extra O. It's Alan. Hear this from one of his Hasidic patients. And what about gut? It's a gut feeling. That's also God. Of course, in Yiddish, God. So it's all the same. The gut and that. I know. Good. Doesn't make a difference. Challenge. Nisoyin is not bad. Nisoyin is not bad. Nisoyin is good. A test is good. If you succeed, it's very good. When we say bad, it doesn't come from Hashem. That means bad. Something which is truly bad. It depends what not succeeding is. Okay? Well, back to the story. Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma and this person.